Hello, everybody. You're on the mic. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the actors who have provided their voices to the character of Aquaman in television animated history. Um, so, without no further ado, let's get started. First off, we venture back to the late 60s, 1966 and 67 to be more specific, to Filmation's animated series, The Superman Aquaman Hour Adventure. This is, of course, a series that was narrated by Ted Knight, who was known for his work on Mary Tyler Moore. The actor who voiced Aquaman in this was Marvin Miller. Marvin Miller, who at the time was better known as the voice of Robbie the Robot from Forbidden Planet. But it was Marvin Miller who did the voice of Aquaman in the Superman Aquaman Hour Adventure. Then, as we move ahead into Super Friends canon, of course, Super Friends, a series that ran in different incarnations from starting in 1973 all the way through 1986. Let's see. Through the first two seasons of Super Friends and all new Super Friends hours, Aquaman was voiced by Norman Alden, and then starting with Challenge of the Super Friends through the rest of the series, Bill Calloway took over the role. So he was a major character in the original season of the animated television series Super Friends. In this series, Aquaman was shown to display super strength as seen when he was hefting a bulldozer blade over his head, for example, and using it to stop a tidal wave. He also had encyclopedic knowledge of oceanography and oceanology. In addition to his more familiar water-breathing power and aquatic telepathy. However, this series has been blamed for making Aquaman unpopular and even laughable by reinforcing a weak image of the character. Yeah, because in the Super Friends version of Aquaman, they emphasize more his telepathic abilities with fish, which basically meant he couldn't do anything unless he was able to call his fish to do it for him. So that's kind of where they were going with that. But basically, as I said, in the first two seasons of Super Friends and the all new Super Friends Hour, Norman Alden provided the voice of Aquaman. And then from Challenge of Super Friends through the rest of the series, Bill Calloway had taken over. Bill Calloway had also, of course, done the voice of Bizarro in Challenge of Super Friends and the Super Friends Lost episodes in 1980. So, okay, so as we move on from Super Friend Kenan, we move into the 90s and get into the DC animated universe. Aquaman, of course, made an appearance in an episode of Superman the Animated Series. In this appearance, he was voiced by Miguel Ferrer, who would later, I think, provide the voice of Dr. Fate in the DCAU, and also Copperhead. In this appearance, he was drawn in the classic Aquaman appearance with the orange top, green gloves, green bottom, green pants, green boots, that kind of thing. Basically, he's drawn in his classic form. Let's see. In the episode, Aquaman, regarded as an urban legend, comes into conflict with Lex Luthor when one of Luthor's undersea construction plans starts causing damage to Aquaman's home, Atlantis. As king of Atlantis, he tries to stop the test peacefully, but his peaceful attempts are met with violence and capture. Lois Lane finds him a prisoner of LexCorp Institute, and she is in turn captured and taken to be killed with him. Because of this, of course, he considers attacking the surface, but Superman dissuades him from doing so. And then in DCAU canon, his daughter Aquagirl makes an appearance in the animated series Batman Beyond. I believe that she was voiced by Jodie Benson in that episode. And then later in the Justice League Unlimited cartoons, Aquaman's appearance and voice actually change. Scott Rummel takes over the voice of Aquaman, and we see, I believe it's the Aquaman of the '90s. He lets his hair grow. He lets his hair grow long. He has a beard. This is the Aquaman who has his arm basically cut off and has a hook, has a hook or spear attachment, as opposed to um, his classic look. Um, According to this report, this version was based closely on the hot-headed anti-hero persona producers were aiming for Conan underwater, basically. So, of course, in the Justice League Unlimited series, of course, um, let's see. Actually, he made his first appearance in the episode "The Enemy Below" in the Justice League, and then in which he would be going off against his brother Orm, who Ocean Master in the comics, um, who basically tried to have him and his infant son killed. But in order to save his son, of course, he chopped off his own arm to save his son. Then he would make a return in Justice League Unlimited in the episode Ultiman, in which was an episode that was considered a homage to the Super Friends cartoons. Um, anyways, that was that. And then in Batman the Brave and the Bold, Aquaman would make an appearance voiced by John. It would make several appearances voiced by John DiMaggio. Um, Basically, in this particular case, he's more akin to his more classic, akin more to his classic character, but just more, according to Batman in this particular series, he was a friendly, happy-go-lucky adventurer with a larger-than-life personality who always said outrageous, who liked to use the phrase outrageous. Um, so, and then in the Young Justice cartoon, Aquaman would make an appearance in this series, voiced by Phil LaMarr. Phil LaMarr, of course, famous for a number of characters, including Samurai Jack, Static, Green Lantern from the DCAU, Justice League cartoons, among others. In this one, of course, Aquaman is the mentor to this version of Aqualad, who is not actually Garth. is a different Aqualad. That yeah. So this particular Aqualad is is another character altogether. But and with that, that's probably where I'll end it right there and that part. So with that, then. Okay, so with that, then, let's move on to the next segment here. So today being, of course, um, July the 13th, 2020. Let's take a look back through time and see what happened on this date in history, in niche history. So first off, we go back 75 years to 1945. On this date in 1945, Dell Comics put out on the newsstand Smilin' Jack number 80. Now, what is a bit more unique about this is the 80th issue, but not of Smiling Jack. This was a part of a series known as Four Color. The series itself was called Four Color. Let me see, Four Color. I don't know if it's Four Color Comics or no, just Four Color. Um, it was designed as one shots. So you'd have a number of issues. This is the 80th issue though of the Four Color series. This one featuring Smilin' Jack. They were all one shots, meaning there was no one character that had like the whole throughout the whole thing. They just kind of kept rotating characters in and out. Kind of similar to what would happen later with DC Comics, with Showcase. But in this particular case, instead of just saying Four Color and then the character, they just put a character's name up there. So Smiling Jack number 80, aka Four Color number 80, was released by Dell Comics on this date in 1945, 75 years ago. Moving ahead now to 1977. I would like, of course, to wish a happy 43rd birthday to LA based actress and voice actress Kari Walgreen. She turns 43 today. Happy 43rd birthday to Kari Walgreen, known, of course, for her work as Haruko Haruhara on Fully Cooley, Fu from Samurai Champloo, um, Robin Cena from Witch Hunter Robin, um, among other characters. Saber from Fate Zero. She's also done a number of video game work. She was also in Wings Club. Um, so happy 43rd birthday to Kari Walgreen today. Oh, so I hope she has a good day today. Happy 43rd birthday, Kari. So as we move ahead then to 2007, which is 13 years ago, day 30 years from Kari Walgreen's birth. On Kari Walgreen's 30th birthday, over in Japan, the Japanese manga series March Comes In Like a Lion would make its published debut on this date in Young Animal magazine. March comes in like the Japanese manga March Comes In Like a Lion would make its published debut in Young Anime on this date in 2007. And on this date 5 years ago, from the Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, on the episode of Monday Night Raw. Basically, I guess the biggest story of the night was the formation of two Divas factions to go up against Team Bella. Team Bella, with the Bella Twins and Alicia Fox, had been dominating the Raw. Had been dominating the Raw Divas division. So Stephanie McMahon coming out in order to shake things up in the Divas division, decided to introduce two new factions of the Divas division, which subsequently led to a major brawl. She first off, of course, introduced Paige, um, Paige along with Becky Lynch and Charlotte, forming Team Paige, which would eventually become the Submission Sorority in PCB. Team Paige would be introduced and make their debut, and then after Naomi and Tamina took issue, Stephanie brought out NXT Women's Champion Sasha Banks, forming the Divas faction Team B.A.D, Beautiful and Dangerous. So on this date in 2015, Team B.A.D and Team Paige formed to go after the Team Bella. So with that all being said, if you guys would like to contact me directly, my Discord handle is in the links below. You can check out the Discord. You can direct message me there. I will usually get back to you as soon as I can. Also, let's see. Still promoting a bunch of different dub companies. There's a lot of work out there you guys can check out. I highly recommend checking out some stuff while you have the time to do so. Also, I'm still, of course, promoting Vic's GoFundMe as well as the Indiegogo project of That Umbrella Guy and his daughter, Little Umbrella Girl. As always, guys, never feel like you have to donate. If it's on your heart to do so, you have the means to, please consider donating. If you have already donated, please consider donating again. And if you cannot donate, you can at least help out the cause by sharing the link. Sharing is caring. You never know. Maybe somebody may see it, may want to help out. And check out the site for yourself. Check out the situations themselves. It wouldn't hurt. And if you like this comment, I please ask that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I always enjoy the conversation with you guys as long as it's civil and respectful. I will, as I said, generally get back to you. And don't forget, this Friday will be my next voice actor profile premiere. This week I'll be doing Canadian. I'll be profiling Canadian-born, LA-based voice actor Doug Stone. My next live stream will, of course, also be next Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific. I am still just kind of finalizing the details in my head before I post it. I'll be posting it probably in the next day or two. And with that, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.